growing pains. Won't be seen tonight, so we can bring you a very special episode of The Gen X-Files. Welcome to The Gen X-Files. I'm Jim.
I'm Adam.
And today's show is all about Kingdom of the Spiders.
What a weird movie.
So weird.
Such a bizarre film.
It's not. It's kind of in between of Frogs and Night of the Lepus, because it's not a good movie. But it's like a car wreck or something. It's utterly watchable.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's not. It's almost defies description.
Yeah. Because it's just
such an odd movie.
Well, it just turns, and you made a good point yesterday. Like the whole third act could have been like a Twilight Zone, or or some sort of
the Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah.
It had very much had Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead, and what's the author that you love?
Richard Matheson.
It had like a Matheson vibe to it.
Yeah.
This was another movie when I was a kid that came on in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And I love Star Trek. I love Shatner, not as much as I love DeForest Kelley, because I had taste. I knew DeForest Kelley was the better actor even back then. But
pretty much everybody's a better actor than William Shatner.
William Shatner, we discovered yesterday, William Shatner is an enigma. He is a bad actor. He makes all the wrong choices, but for some weird reason, it works.
Yeah, it's very odd. It's like he takes the full circle and does the complete 360 back to being good again.
Yeah, well, it's just there's certain people that have this innate charisma, or there's just something to their person that makes them rise above everything. And it's like Shatner's never been a good actor or particularly successful. He's not a very good writer. Those tech books. Tech War books,
He technically didn't write them. He just gave somebody the idea.
I've got an idea. The greatest example of who William Shatner is to me is there was a recording, these outtakes. And I think he was doing he was either doing the animated series for Star Trek, or he was doing a Star Trek video game. I think it was a video game.
Okay.
And he does a line, and he's like, Mr. Spock, it's a sabotage. And the guy, hey, Bill, the word is pronounced sabotage. Well, I pronounce it sabotage. Well, could you try it this one time just saying sabotage? No, because I say sabotage. And then he wouldn't do it. And so in the thing, it's a sabotage.
Right.
But the truth is, it is the way he does it, right? And he knows who he is. And it's like him saying sabotage is much more interesting than him just saying sabotage. And he knows that his weird idiosyncrasies, his weird movements, and the way he talks, it is all part of who makes him a personality. You're never going to see, or you never did see, him playing Abe Lincoln or...
No, but he didn't. He kind of grew into becoming a bad actor, because when he started, his early stuff, like the Twilight Zone stuff he was in, was good. It wasn't bad.
Not bad, but there was always an element of hyper reality to his performance. Even in the Twilight Zone, when he's like, "It's on the plane," I'm not saying he's bad,
but it was much, much more grounded.
Well, I think he leaned into.
I just don't think he ever got better as an actor, and all his bad habits made him so much more worse.
Well, it's also his bad habits made him so much more popular.
Sure.
I mean, it's funny because outside of Star Trek, T.J. Hooker was pretty popular. It lasted for a long time.
Yeah.
People loved to see him as a cop. And he did Airplane 2 and stuff, but he never really had a career outside of Star Trek, except for being himself.
Yeah.
And, but he is a consummate entertainer, and he's hilarious. I watched this bit from the AFI celebration of George Lucas. Mm-hmm. And he did this whole bit where he comes out, and he's like, Star Wars, never heard of it. And then he goes into this whole song and dance bit with
nice
stormtroopers doing the can.
Yeah, I think I've seen that. Yeah.
And it's great. And he is an entertainer. He is a guy that at conventions or whatever, you want to listen to his stories. He's a good storyteller. He's just got this thing about him that, to some extent, Trump has it. It's like these guys have this this charisma or this thing about them that defies everything.
Right.
That you should be like, well, this guy should never work again, you know?
Yeah.
But you are strangely captivated by him. And even in this movie, I was like, oh, yeah, I want to see what you're going to do next.
The first, 5 minutes, there's no dialogue. And the second he starts talking, I'm like, okay, this movie's going to be fine.
He's so gross. He's so
gross. He is the worst pickup artist ever.
Yeah,
it's so bad.
It's borderline sexual harassment.
Yeah,
what he does. And
the whole town is super weird in this movie.
And what's so insane is that Tiffany Bolling, is that her name? Mm-hmm. The woman that plays opposite him is like the female.
Yeah.
William Shatner.
She's not very good either.
No, but they mirror each other. If you watch the movie, they kind of do the thing together. And she's doing it, and he's doing it, and they're moving the same way. And the same weird movements, and unless she has her hands on her hips, she does have no idea what to do with her arms, or her hands, or her fingers.
I don't think I've seen her in anything else, so I don't know if she was just kind of mirroring what he was doing, or his bad habits just rubbed off on her for this movie.
Well, it just seemed very, I was watching like a Meisner mirror exercise sometimes when they were in the scene together, but this was a time too when his career was over. Just like poor DeForest Kelley after Star Trek, these guys were done.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault, and we'll get into it. But he had to do what he had to do to make money.
Yeah,
like he was broke as hell,
which is insane to me.
Yeah,
to think about that. I mean, and I think that too, that period of time for him humbled him to the point where he stopped taking himself so seriously, and he was in on the joke. Like, for a while, he was the joke. And then once he became in on the joke and part of the joke, then it was great.
Well, he realized that being in on the joke would make him money.
Well, also make him a national treasure.
Sure.
People love
make him money.
Shatner.
Yeah.
People love Shats. They love him. And he's just such a weird-looking little dude.
So odd.
He's just an odd bird. And what an odd movie for him to be in.
It fits in very well for this movie because everything in this movie is friggin' weird.
It is so weird. It is. This movie you need to see just because it defies all convention. It at least this time they had something that was scary.
Yeah, I mean,
Spiders.
Spiders are frightening, especially when there's like a billion of them.
I feel really badly for all the spiders that were on the set.
Oh,
but,
my God. So did not get treated well at all. It's like, I like that they kept him in separate cages and then just threw him on the ground and ran him over.
Yeah, and the quote in the script that hit me the most was Shatner being like, I just heard all the pops.
Yeah.
When the cars are driving over them, just the pops.
It's just so gross.
And, I've had friends, lots of friends with pet tarantulas. They're very cool creatures.
Yeah, they're very docile. They're very nice creatures.
If you don't put two men together, if you put two men tarantulas, put two male tarantulas together, they'll fight to the death. Eat each other. I mean, they're also cannibalistic too.
Yeah. Well, they don't care. They just need to eat.
Yeah, eating machines.
This is how evolution happens. They eat the other guy that's not powerful enough to beat them, and then they make more babies that are strong and powerful.
That's what I did.
And then eventually we have Kingdom of the Spiders.
Yes, I ate a lot of babies when I was a baby.
Yeah.
Just to prove I was the best baby.
Yeah. I mean, I know. I read the headlines.
That was the 70s, baby. Babies eating babies.
But this whole movie's so weird. I think that maybe the writers were super sexed up or something, because there's some weird sexual dialogue in this movie.
Yeah.
That comes from some odd characters, and it just doesn't... It's like, why? Why are you telling me this?
There's very few sexually appealing people in the movie. First of all,
that's true.
Lou 100% is perfect for her name, because she seems like a Lou. But her all talking about sexing up the sheriff and how...
It's like literally, Tiffany Bolling comes in, and the first thing that she says to her is, that's the sheriff. I used to have sex with him. And it's like, what? I'm sorry. What?
I ruined it for all other women.
So do you want the room? Well, I don't. Okay, thanks.
Well, yeah, and that's after, she rolls into town and William Shatner is like, and I get it too.
Makes her go to the men's room.
Well, he was pissed off that she assumed that he was a lowly gas station attendant. So she had to pay. And then after that, he's just a drooling wolf. That's just
God, it's awful.
I mean, like, To the point where he's like sticking his tongue out and like licking at her and doing all this weird stuff.
Sniffing her hair.
Yeah, and she's just get away.
So weird.
Yeah.
And she buys it.
Well,
because she ends up with him.
Because he's relentless. Because she was just like, fine, I'll do it if you just stop.
We're probably all going to die anyway, so we'll just do this.
It was the 70s, man. They were just like, oh, fine, I'll F you if you just leave me the F alone.
Yeah.
It was just
And I will say, this movie, I think if it wasn't for the ending, the very last shot of this movie, I think I might have not liked this movie.
Yeah. It had a very Twilight Zone.
It is a very dark, dismal ending.
Yeah.
There is no hope. The entire town is just covered. There's just spiders are everywhere, and that's it. I couldn't believe it. It like cuts to black, and or like credits start rolling, and I was like, wow, they just went there.
Well, there was a strange amount of hidden depth in this movie.
Yeah,
you know, there was it wasn't just your typical B movie. You know,
yeah.
A lot of the characters were interesting. The Colbys were really interesting. The sharecroppers that first dealt with the spiders. And
their cows kept getting murdered by tarantulas.
Their prize cow and their poor pooch
and their dog.
Well, that's your fault, buddy, for putting him out there.
He didn't know. He thought it was a virus. He thought that it was some kind of disease.
Well, then let your dog get the virus. Keep your dog inside, buddy.
Well, maybe the dog, maybe it affects the cows, but not the dogs.
Well, old Jack.
I'm not a rancher, so I don't know how any of that works.
Old Jack deserved better.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But what a weird movie. Let's get into it. It's the 70s, my favorite. Again, I got this movie mixed up with Night of the Lepus when I was not as a kid, but as an adult, because I got my Star Trekkies mixed up.
Oh,
I thought Shatz was in Lepus, but of course it was the incomparable DeForest Kelley.
He definitely chose a better project.
He did. He was like, bunnies, no, spiders, yes.
Spiders, I'm scared. All right, well, take yourself back to 1977.
Yeah, baby, Star Wars.
November 18th, the first government-sponsored meeting for and about women in the U.S., the National Women's Conference, opened in Houston for the first of 4 days.
Nice. And then they never had another women's conference again.
I'm pretty sure it was taken over by the conservatives.
Oh, Jesus. Houston, too. That's crazy. It's upside-down world.
Yeah, that does not seem like the right place. Which is appropriate, because our next movie we're covering is set in Houston.
All I know is that the history that you relayed to us is just depressing about how progressive and different it was back then.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
How we were like on the verge of becoming something really great.
Well, also, it is a little surprising that it took until 1977 for the government to be like, we should cover half the country.
Well, Jesus, weren't women prohibited from getting credit cards until 72?
No, I think it was even later than that. It was sometime in the 70s. I think it was late 70s.
Insane.
Yeah.
Insane.
Might have been around the time. Maybe that was the theme of the first day. We can all get credit cards.
Yeah, then women be shopping.
Women be shopping.
Oh, that's the worst.
November 22nd, the first TCP/IP, the transmission protocol for the connecting nodes of the U.S. Department of Defense's ARPANET, became operational, connecting 3 of the 111 existing nodes for what would become known as the Internet.
Yeah, and the first thing they put on was a cat video.
Yeah, and then porn.
Here's my cat, and here's me, my cat watching me have sex.
Oh, gross. But November 22nd, 1977, technically that is the birth of the Internet, so we should celebrate.
Nice. Or commiserate.
Yes, commiserate. Thank you. November 23rd, the GI Bill Improvement Act of 1977 was signed into law by U.S. President Carter, Public Law 95202, making women who had served as Women Air Force Service Pilots, also known as WASPs, in World War II eligible for U.S. veteran benefits.
Good Lord. America hated women until the 70s.
32 years they did not have benefits, even though they served in the armed forces like everyone else.
Disgusting.
Yay. Also on that day, November 23rd, Kingdom of the Spiders is released in theaters.
Well, that was the real win for women. By the way, I just want to mention really quickly, just for everybody who was expecting Killer Bees, I am an idiot. I mixed up The Swarm and Killer Bees. Killer Bees is an awful TV movie, and The Swarm is a mediocre disaster, Irwin Allen disaster movie.
At least it's got a lot of good actors in it.
So we had to do a double-do switcheroo,
yeah,
because Kingdom comes before The Swarm.
Yeah.
And so don't worry, your Killer Bees are coming. It's a much better Killer Bee movie, I'm pretty sure. And so Spiders today.
Yeah.
Killer bees next
It'll
week.
be all about the bees next week.
It's going to be worth it. Definitely be worth it.
Kingdom of the Spiders starts as an original story from Jeffrey M. Sneller and Stephen Lodge.
Sneller and Lodge.
Sneller had produced a few movies in the early 70s, but Kingdom of the Spiders was his first writing credit. Lodge started as an actor before transitioning to the wardrobe department and had his first script produced, The Honkers, in 1972, starring James Coburn.
Yes, playing a goose.
I thought it was just about boobs.
I don't know.
I didn't even look it up because it is the worst title ever.
The Honkers.
So The Honkers is about the rodeo. Why it's called The Honkers, I don't know.
Honk.
No, they don't do that. The rodeo.
Rodeo clowns, what do they do?
Is he unless he's a rodeo clown?
I don't know. Why is it called Honkers?
I don't know. It's beside the point.
All right. We'll wait until we cover the Honkers.
We'll cover the Honkers when we hit our James Coburn month.
We will, though.
Producer Ego Cantor liked the story that Sneller and Lodge had written and picked it up to be rewritten.
I like what you wrote. Now let's rewrite it.
Yeah. Well, it's always the idea. Well, I like your idea.
Yeah, this is why movies come out really bad.
Yeah. Although I'm not sure if it would have helped anything with King of the Spiders,
Who
but
knows?
whatever. Cantor was the editor for Ed Wood's 1954 film Jailbait.
Okay.
You remember Ed Wood and Jailbait?
I remember Ed Wood. I don't remember Jailbait. I did see
It was an
Glenn and
exploitation.
Glenda, and I did see Plan 9 from Outer Space, but I never saw Jailbait.
It was an exploitation movie. It was a pure exploitation movie. In the early 60s, he opened the post-production house Synchro Film, which did post-work on Easy Rider, Five Easy Pieces, and The King of Marvin Gardens.
Wow, it's just exclusively Jack Nicholson movies.
Yeah. He did a bunch, but those were the ones that were good.
Those are good, really good.
Cantor hired Alan Caillou and Richard Robinson to write a script. This was Robinson's first credit, but Caillou had been in the business since the 50s, acting and writing. Writing credits include The Losers in 1970, about a quintet of CIA-trained Hells Angels that take their specialty armored hogs to Cambodia and head across Southeast Asia to rescue a captured presidential advisor.
I need to see that.
I need to see that as well. It is. I don't think The Losers, the new Losers, was a remake of it, but I want to see especially armored hogs.
So do I. No, the new Losers was based on a graphic novel.
Oh, that's right. He also wrote Evel Knievel in 1971, starring George Hamilton and co-written by John Milius.
That's insane that John Milius co-wrote Evel Knievel and that George Hamilton was playing Evel Knievel.
There were no less than 3 Evel Knievel movies about Evel Knievel in the 70s.
Well, this is the second one we've talked about this month because there was one that starred our buddy Sam Elliott from
Sam Elliott,
Frogs.
and there was also the Viva Knievel, which starred Evel Knievel himself.
Right, when they finally had to get the real deal.
Which actually was from Irwin Allen, who we'll talk about next week.
Oh, man. I'll say this again. Evel Knievel, Bigfoot, and spontaneous combustion, and quicksand. Those are the 4 biggies when I was a kid. You were going to get chased by Bigfoot into quicksand. And then
as Evel Knievel jumps over both of you.
Evel jumps over you
and 25
spontaneously
buses.
combusts. That's the perfect 70s movie.
That is a perfect 70s movie. John Bud Cardos was hired to direct the film. Cardos started as a stuntman and actor and has worked in almost every department on a film production.
Yes.
He had his directorial debut in 1970 with The Red, White, and Black, about an all-black cavalry regiment in post-Civil War America.
Cool.
Yeah. He followed up with The Drag Racer in 1972, about a kid wanting to become a drag racer.
Not as interesting, but okay.
In the 90s, Cardos started working in the transportation department well into his 60s. Sadly, he passed away on December 31st, 2020 at his ranch in Acton, California at the age of 91.
It's a good run.
He was a stuntman, and he did, I think he worked on like 300 different projects as a stuntman.
That's great.
It was insane.
Live to 91 as a stuntman?
Yeah.
You're doing okay.
It's great because in the 90s and early 2000s, there was just like 15 documentaries that he was in because he just kept talking about all these stuntmen and like the actors and stuff. Like, it was crazy. So the cast: William Shatner as Rack Hansen.
Rack.
Why do they call you Rack?
Well, when I was young, I would work really hard. And my brother was lazy, didn't work at all. And I'd come home with my money from the week, and he would challenge me to pool and beat me every time. And he would say, rack 'em up, rack 'em up. And then it stuck, and they called me Rack.
Yeah.
Most convoluted, stupid story
That is
ever.
directly from the film. And it is convoluted and stupid. Although I can say, I think Rack is an interesting name. It's just...
Yeah.
It's up there with the Honkers.
Yeah, well, Rack could do well in the honkers, I think.
Shatner started his film career while in college in Canada, appearing in the 1951 film The Butler's Night Off.
Ooh.
He started acting in plays and decided to move to New York in 1954 to pursue a career on Broadway. He would be cast in the Howdy Doody Show as Ranger Bob shortly after landing in New York. He would follow it up with appearances on Studio One, Alfred Hitchcock Presents The Twilight Zone, and The Defenders.
So weird that he was on the Howdy Doody Show.
Yeah, it's a little weird, and I couldn't find out how many episodes he was actually in.
Yeah.
Like all the official cast listings, he was not listed.
Well, he must have been just for a bit.
Yeah, I think it was just a guest thing for a couple episodes.
Well, it's like Michael Keaton was, he was part of the Mr. Rogers Show. He was the guy that ran the trolley.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
An early highlight was being cast in Judgment at Nuremberg in 1961.
The best thing that he's ever been in.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Of course, in 1966, he was cast as Captain James T. Kirk in the second pilot for Star Trek, the original series. He would appear in all 79 episodes over 3 seasons before it was canceled. Unfortunately, much like last week with DeForest Kelley, Shatner had a hard time shaking the Star Trek role.
Yeah, it's weird for a show that didn't last very long. All of these people were just completely absorbed by it.
It's just weird. It's very odd. With very little money and few acting prospects, he lost his home and was for a time so poor that he was reduced to living in a truck bed camper in the San Fernando Valley.
Good Lord.
He refers to this part of his life as
that period.
A humbling time during which he would take any odd job, including small party appearances, to support his family.
Oh, could you imagine?
Yeah.
Hey, Johnny, guess what? For your birthday, we got Captain Kirk.
Well, I don't like Captain Kirk.
I like Star Wars. Where's Luke Skywalker? Shut your mouth, kid, or I will belt you in the face.
He also started appearing on celebrity game shows to make money, like
Beat the Clock, Celebrity Bowling, The Hollywood Squares, Match Game, Tattletales, The $10,000 Pyramid, and Mike Stokely's Stomp the Stars.
He would make a handful of TV movies and make some appearances on some shows, but didn't work another feature film until 1974, making 2 movies that year.
The celebrity game show gig was huge in the 70s. And all the Star Trekkers were on those game shows. All of them.
Yeah. He would make a handful of TV movies and make some appearances on some shows, but didn't work another feature film until 1974, making 2 movies that year, including Impulse, with Shatner playing a serial killer of wealthy widows.
Sounds about right.
And Big Bad Mama, the Roger Corman sexploitation movie starring Angie Dickinson and Tom Skerritt.
Oh, it's a bad movie.
I know. It was one of those that was on TV all the time.
Oh, yeah. It was just so weird to see him in like a sex movie. It was gross.
It was weird.
To see him getting it on with Angie Dickinson. Nobody wanted Policewoman and Captain Kirk to be rolling around in a whole barn.
The movie's weird. Shatner would appear in The Devil's Reign in 1975, starring Tom Skerritt, Ernest Borgnine, and Eddie Albert.
Ooh, it's like Tom Skerritt and Bill Shatner were like the Martin Short, Steve Martin of the time.
The movie's also noted for being the first movie for John Travolta as well.
Yeah, it was my first movie.
Yeah. After King of the Spiders in 1978, Shatner would appear in Land of No Return, a thriller co-starring Mel Torme.
The Velvet Fog.
Because honestly, whenever I think of thrillers, my first thought is Mel Torme. Ooh. It's so weird and psychological.
Watch out.
He was also in The Third Walker, about 2 families having their sons switched at the hospital at birth.
Well, then what's that title mean?
The Third Walker? I don't know. Maybe there was a third kid they didn't know about this twist ending. I don't know.
The Third Walker.
In 1979, he would appear in Star Trek, the motion picture, and would appear in all of the Star Trek movies until 1994, with Star Trek Generations, where Captain Kirk would die. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, and here's his last words. It was fun.
Yeah.
Look, Star Trek, the motion picture was horrible.
Yeah.
I'm super surprised they made another Star Trek movie, but when they did, they turned the entire thing around, and the reason why Star Trek movies were made over and over again was because of the Wrath of Khan. It was such a good movie.
Sure. Unfortunately, everything after that was garbage.
Not everything. There was a couple of interesting ones. There was a Klingon one that was very Shakespearean that wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
But you're right. Most of them were pretty awful.
Not very good. Yeah.
It's just even the Next Generation ones were bad. They just didn't know how to translate it to film.
Generations wasn't terrible. I enjoyed it.
You need to see that again.
But you're right. I mean, almost all of the Next Generation stuff was just. It was like they were just essentially long episodes.
They're boring too.
There was nothing epic to it. There was no. What was the point of it being a feature film?
I love the shows. I just was never big on the movies, except for Wrath of Khan, which is beyond Star Trek a great movie.
Right. In 1982, Shatner would be cast in T.J. Hooker, playing the lead for 90 episodes over 5 seasons.
God, that thing was a juggernaut.
It was hugely popular.
People love to see him slide over the front of a police car.
Yeah.
I'm Hooker.
Starting in 1989, Shatner would host Rescue 911, a docudrama series about 911 calls, which ran for 186 episodes and 2 specials.
Totally forgot about that.
Oh my God, that is what I remember him from the most, because it came out right as I was like 10, 11 years old. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People love that show.
It was just, I'm sure he shot the entire season in a day.
Yeah.
Because it was just him doing stand-ups and then doing voiceover.
Well, he just does the opening and the closing.
Yeah.
911.
Yeah.
Is for emergencies. And these.
I mean, he was perfect for it.
Yeah.
In 1994, he would appear in Tech War, a TV movie that started a series of TV movies and eventually a TV series, which was based off novels ghost-written by Ron Goulart, based off of Shatner's outlines.
Wait a minute. Shat didn't write it?
No. Even though it literally says on the books, written by William Shatner.
Yeah.
He did not.
Liar.
Yeah. In 2004, Shatner would guest star in The Practice Season 8, appearing in 5 episodes as Denny Crane. Him and several characters would be spun off from Season 8 of The Practice into a show called Boston Legal, which would run for 5 seasons, with Shatner appearing in 108 episodes.
That's where he started getting a little bit of cachet.
Yeah.
People really enjoyed him as that.
Denny Crane. Oh my God. That's all anybody would talk about.
Denny Crane.
Yeah.
I'm Denny Crane.
It was great. He was great. I mean, because he was just the character's such an asshole.
Yeah.
But it was so perfect.
He is a very lucky man. I mean, the guy has had so many versions of his career. It is insane that a B movie, pretty bad actor, has lasted for decades.
The amazing thing is now he's into like part 4 of his career, and he mostly does voiceover.
Yeah.
Like, he rarely appears on screen anymore, which, granted, I think he's in his, like, mid-80s.
90s.
Oh, 90s even, yeah.
He's really old.
And he did go to space. There is that.
He did, and it was very profound. Made me very sad.
His most recently can be heard in Masters of the Universe Revolution, which I believe is on Netflix, playing a character that I don't know.
I have the power of Grayskull.
I don't think he was
He-Man?
He-Man. That would be amazing, but I don't think so.
One thing that we didn't mention about William Shatner that I love is his musical career.
Yeah, I know. I purposely left that out.
But I will have to say, yes, his early career was a total joke with Rocket Man. I am a rocket.
Yeah, it was a complete choice to essentially do like dramatized readings of songs.
But the album he did with Ben Folds was pretty good.
Yeah, he did. I mean, in the song he did with I think it was Pulp, the cover that the
something people?
Common People.
The Common People.
Common People. It's a great. I mean, it was a cover, but it was a great song. It was around the time when he started to get popular again, and people were like looking back on like Star Trek and going like, "We need him. We need to do this."
The popular people. But I enjoy that Ben Folds album. But it's just so funny because he was the greatest thing. Look on YouTube, Shatner sings, and you'll see some of those awesome 70s like. You know, those double portraits where he's like sitting there, you know, singing, and then they have like the superimposed picture of him doing Rocket Man. Yeah. I'm fascinated by his career. And also, Spock. He had a
Leonard Nimoy had a really good singing voice.
He was a big folk singer, and his ode to Bilbo Baggins.
Forrest Kelly, man, they were very talented.
They were. I can't wait till we start talking about Scotty and Uhura. And
yeah. Whenever we get to them. So Natasha Ryan was cast as Linda Hansen. She was the little girl, technically Shatner's niece,
right?
In the movie. Ryan started acting in commercials at the age of 2 and was cast in Days of Our Lives at the age of 5, playing the same role for 5 years, appearing in 157 episodes.
Yeah, child acting laws were different back then, I think.
She had a better career than most actors before the age of 10.
She did. She was doing better than Shatner, that's for sure.
She played the young Sybil in the TV miniseries Sybil in 1976.
Yes, with Sally Field as the Other Sybil.
Sybil?
It's
Old
the Sybil.
Yeah. In total, she appeared in 26 projects in 7 years from the ages of 6 to 13. Kingdom of the Spiders was her first feature film.
Oh, she was really good in it.
Yeah, she was great.
I mean, she was just a scared kid, but she did.
But she did well. Yeah. Didn't seem to care that her mother died at all.
Yeah.
It was really great, the moment when they're in the car and after Shatner realizes that his sister-in-law is dead.
Yeah.
And he brings the kid in, they get all the spiders out of the truck, and then Tiffany Bolling looks over and goes, "She's dead!" It's like, the girl's right there, man.
Well, no, because he was saying something like really insensitive, and she's like, "Dude, her mother just died."
It was not, none of it was handled well. Other feature films for Natasha Ryan include The Amityville Horror in 1979, The Daytime Ended in 1979, Fatso in 1980,
With Dom DeLuise.
The Entity in 1982.
Ugh, it's such a weird movie. Have you seen
I've
that?
never seen it, no.
The Entity is about a ghost that rapes a woman.
Yeah, okay.
And it's so weird because they like pull the sheet back, and they have like the ghost. But to look like the ghost is touching her breasts, they use like a air blower thing to put dimples in to make it look.
Yeah.
It's something
weird. Okay. She was also in Going Berserk in 1983, her final film.
Well, that sounds familiar.
I literally didn't look any of these up because I knew I was going to go down some deep rabbit holes.
Right.
She then retired from acting at the age of 13.
Oh.
And, or 14-ish. And honestly, could not find anything about her. No idea what she's doing.
Well, good for her.
She's probably still getting royalty checks, and she's out. She's done.
Yeah, she's getting that big Kingdom of the Spiders money.
Yeah. Marcy Lafferty was cast as Terry Hansen, Linda's mom, and Shatner's sister-in-law, who really was horned up for Shatner.
Well, he's a dick. I mean, honestly, he's led her on horribly. And then he brings another woman. This is the woman I'm with now.
Well, now, granted, at the beginning, when she called him the wrong name, like, he got really mad.
Really mad. Like, almost abusive mad the way he pushed her away. It was like,
but then it was much like the cycle of violence. As soon as he sees her again, it's like, no, you're fine. No. I'm just going to keep leading you on until...
Give you just enough to think you have a chance, and then rip it out from underneath you.
Yeah, and then you die.
Yeah, and then he brings over Diane. Look at her. Much prettier than you, and she's smart.
Yeah, and she doesn't have baggage.
She doesn't have a stupid kid.
Marcy is the daughter of Perry Lafferty, a TV producer and network executive who worked on All in the Family, MASH, Maude, The Mary Tyler Moore Show, and a whole lot more.
Those are some great projects.
Yeah. To Marcy's credit, when she started her acting career, she went by Marcy Brown, presumably to not piggyback on her father's coattails.
Nice.
She was attempting. After guest starring on a few TV shows, she switched to Lafferty. Apparently realized that didn't work.
I don't have the talent to run on my own.
She was credited as Marcy Lafferty in the TV movie Paperman, broadcast in 1971, starring Dean Stockwell.
Oh, I love Dean Stockwell.
Yeah, he's great. It's also safe to assume, since Star Trek aired on CBS, that Lafferty met William Shatner through her father, who was working at CBS at the time. They would marry in 1973.
Look, if I was her father, I would forbid it.
Yep, I mean, I would too.
You're not marrying this loser. You'll be living in a trailer in 2 years.
Yeah. During their marriage, Lafferty appeared in projects with Shatner, including Impulse in 1974, her first feature film. Airplane 2, the sequel, in 1982.
It's guilty pleasure.
Great. I know.
It's not a good movie.
It's not as good as the first movie.
But Shatner's really good.
But he's funny.
Shh, shh, when they're opening the doors.
Yeah. Also in T.J. Hooker, with Lafferty appearing in 4 episodes, playing 4 different characters.
Had a chuckle at this because this reminds me so much of every time I had a girlfriend who was also an actor that I would make sure that she was in every project that I was doing.
Yeah.
And at the time, she was always the best actor I've ever.
Now, to Shatner's credit, he did a lot more work than she did. And she did do some things that were without him, but there were definitely, like, I feel like when he was going to be, like, away for a while, he was like, yeah, let's get her apart so she can come with me. Yeah. She would work with John Bud Cardos, the director of Kingdom of the Spiders, again in 1979 with The Daytime Ended, which John Bud Cardos has gone on record as saying is the worst movie ever made.
No, he hasn't seen The Terror Within Part 2 then.
Shatner and Lafferty would divorce in 1996. Roles, unfortunately, would dry up for Lafferty after that. Her last credited role was playing Vivian Lee in the film Vivian Lee, which Lafferty also directed, being released in 2002.
She had a passion project.
Yeah, could not find any information about it. It was her first movie in like 10 years or ish. She actually did start going by Marcy Lafferty Shatner for the last couple roles because I think she realized she was like, I need to make some money.
Oh,
yeah.
This business sucks.
I know it does. It really does. I mean, her dad was the network executive at CBS. Like, she shouldn't have had any issues.
She was super nepo baby. Yeah. It just goes to show you do have to have a bit of talent to.
Yeah.
And she wasn't bad in
No,
this.
I actually liked her in this.
But the funny thing is she had zero chemistry with her husband.
I thought nobody had chemistry with William Shatner.
Well, I would say that Diane did because they seemed like the same person. It was like the male and female version of Shat.
It was weird. Tiffany Bolling, speaking of Diane, Tiffany Bolling was cast as Diane Ashley, the arachnologist.
Yes, who drove a nice Mercedes.
Studied spiders. Yeah.
The spider business is booming.
When you got that spider money. Shortly after Bolling was born, her mother and father divorced, and after her mother remarried, her stepfather adopted her.
Nice.
Early in her career, she appeared on Bonanza and Mod Squad before scoring a lead role on The New People, appearing in 17 episodes in 1969.
What the hell's that about?
It was a TV show. I don't know, lasted one season. I don't remember, to be honest.
Were they new people?
They were, The New People. It was probably some kind of workplace drama.
Okay.
It only lasted one season. She continued to make guest star appearances on TV. In April 1972, Bolling did a pictorial for Playboy magazine.
Oh, 72.
Yeah. She later called that exposure
the worst experience of my life.
And said she was not paid a fee.
What?
For being naked in a magazine.
Well, that seems like it's on her and her agent.
Yeah. The Playboy photographs led to her appearing in exploitation films, including Bonnie's Kids in 1972, a neo-noir thriller.
About Bonnie and Clyde's kids.
Yes.
Just kidding.
The Candy Snatchers in 1973, unofficially inspired by the kidnapping of Barbara Jane Mackey, Barbara Jane Mackle, starring Susan Sennett as a teenager who is kidnapped and held for ransom by 3 amateur criminals.
I hate the word snatch.
Yeah.
I don't know why it just bothers me. Snatchers. I don't know. Body snatchers.
She was also in Wicked Wicked, also in 1973, a horror thriller that was presented in Duovision, a gimmick more commonly known as split screen.
Yeah, sounds really awful.
I did go down a deep rabbit hole with Wicked Wicked, and it's literally the whole movie was shot essentially with 2 small screens. So there's 2 things going on the screen the entire film.
That's crazy.
They shot the entire movie, and during the editing process, which took 32 months...
Oh, sure.
He realized he had to shoot a bunch more because there was like 5 minutes of footage missing, and it would be black on one side. The movie was terrible.
I bet.
She was also in The Centerfold Girls in 1974 about a serial killer stalking what is essentially Playboy models.
Oh.
Yeah, it was told in 3 parts. She was like Miss June or something.
Was William Shatner the killer?
No.
Because he was in a movie about killing centerfold.
Wealthy wildos.
Oh,
wealthy widows.
Wildos?
Wildos. Wealthy wildos.
Are wildos what widows use to pleasure themselves?
Yeah, it's what Waldo uses to pleasure himself. A wildo.
Where's Waldo's wildo?
So you'll find it. It's probably in his butt.
Oh, no.
She was dismissive of the Candy Snatchers and took the role solely for the money, elaborating.
I was doing cocaine, and I didn't really know what I was doing, and I was very angry about the way my career had gone in the industry. The opportunities that I had and had not been given. The hardest thing for me, as I look back on it, was that I had done The New People. And so I had a lot of young people who really respected me and revered me as something of a hero. And then I came out with this stupid Candy Snatchers movie. It was a horrendous experience.
Yeah, it's very bad. She does mirror Shatner in a way. She
Delusions
had
of grandeur.
Very bad experiences and blames everyone else.
Yes, but she was a hero to the people when she was doing whatever show that was.
In 1975, she would appear in The Wild Party from Merchant Ivory Production, starring James Coco and Raquel Welch.
Okay, weird that Merchant Ivory did that.
It was like a
farce?
Based off of it was like a period piece.
Oh, okay.
It was based off of a poem from like 1910. They made it into a musical. Not the movie itself, but the poem is made into a musical. She did a 2-episode guest stint on Electra Woman and Dinah Girl in 1976, playing the Spider Lady.
Probably saw that.
The photos look amazing, and I have to see this.
Nice. I used to watch Electra Woman and Dinah Girl.
Yeah, it looks so awful, but amazingly awful in the best ways.
Oh, they had the worst, best superhero shows in the 70s.
She was cast in King of the Spiders because she was the only one who auditioned that didn't mind holding spiders.
Nice.
Literally, she wasn't scared of spiders, and that's why she got cast.
That's how I got the job as tarantula angler. I was the only person who wasn't afraid of spiders.
Her last role was in the feature film Visions in 1998, 10 years after her last previous role. She is now retired from acting.
Okay.
Woody Strode was cast as Walter Colby.
Oh, I love Woody Strode.
The rancher whose whose animals start dying.
His animals were like his kids, Adam.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that's true. Strode was born in Los Angeles in 1912 and attended UCLA. There, he was a world-class decathlon athlete. Strode actually posed for a nude portrait, part of Herbert Stowe's acclaimed exhibition of athletic portraits shown at the 1936 Berlin Olympics.
Ooh, scandalous.
The inclusion of black and Jewish athletes caused the Nazis to close the exhibit early.
Yeah, because they all had tiny little micro penises.
They
and
did.
They felt very, very envious.
Yeah. He also played football at UCLA on the undefeated 1939 team with Kenny Washington, the first black player to be signed by the modern NFL, and Jackie Robinson, the first black player to be signed to the modern MLB.
That's insane. And also, this is back when they had leather helmets.
Yeah. They all played in the backfield. There were 3 of the 4 guys in the backfield. I think the other guy was a white player. But I was reading about this, and UCLA had 4. There was another black player. They had 4 black players. And literally every other college in the country had a total of 12.
Jesus.
So they literally comprised 25% of all black athletes playing football in 1939.
Wow. That also must have been kind of scandalous.
Yeah, it was. It was. They were good. They were really good. The other messed up thing is that when Kenny Washington, the first player that got signed by the modern NFL, it was in 1946. Between 1933 and 1946, there were no black players in the NFL. Before 1933, there were.
Really?
Yeah. But for some reason, 13 years, they were like, nope, not having that anymore.
Ugh.
Yeah. Strode's first feature film was Sundown in 1941, playing a native police officer.
Well, it's also good to know that even back in the 30s, failed athletes could become actors.
Yes.
It's a long, long held tradition.
Well, he did it, yeah. He actually had a grandparent that was half Cherokee and another that was half Cree. So he was double, unfortunately, people being racist because he was Native American and African American.
Yeah.
After having served during World War II, Strode played for the LA Rams for 1 season before ended up playing professionally in Canada.
It's insane. He went to war, right?
Yeah. Yeah, he was in the Army. Yeah. He came back, and I believe that Kenny Washington and Jackie Robinson they're all served during World War II, fighting for the democracy.
Yeah, fighting fascism, man.
Yeah, I know. In 1949, he retired while playing in Canada after breaking 2 ribs in his shoulder.
Ugh.
He was 35 years old. He would dabble in a professional wrestling career where producers saw him and cast him in The Lion Hunters as an African warrior, released in 1951.
All right.
His career would take off, working steadily through a couple dozen projects over the next decade, including being cast as the King of Ethiopia in The 10 Commandments, released in 1956.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
I hate that movie.
Yeah,
It's so long and boring.
It was the one that always came on. They would air it every year, and it would come on. I'd just be like, nope, not
every Easter we had to watch that goddamn movie.
No. And because it was on TV, it had commercials, so it was like 16 hours long.
Sometimes was it a 2-night event? It was like 4 hours long.
Oh, no, they would do that, yeah.
It was so long.
It was so long.
God, it was horrible.
Moses. Strode would get nominated for a Golden Globe for his role in Spartacus, released in 1960.
I am Spartacus.
Yeah, he really liked working with Charlie Heston.
Yeah, well, no, that was...
oh, no, that was Kirk Douglas.
Yes.
Sorry, wrong scrunchy jaw guy.
Wrong strained white man.
Strained, that's what I was trying to say. Other highlights include The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance with John Wayne and James Stewart in 1962.
Great movie.
The Professionals with Burt Lancaster and Lee Marvin in 1966.
Fun movie.
Once Upon a Time in the West with Henry Fonda, Charles Bronson, and Jason Robards in 1968.
I just watched that recently.
Oh, yeah?
Because I saw on the YouTubes a scene with Charlie Bronson.
Yeah.
And it hooked me, and I watched it. It's such a great movie.
I've never seen it. It's one of those that's high on my list, but I just have never seen it.
It's really fun.
And he was also on an episode of Buck Rogers in the 25th Century in 1979.
Hey, guys.
Oh, my God.
Hey, it's me, Wilma Deering.
Hey, we haven't talked about you in like 10 years.
I know. I've been waiting. Colonel Wilma Deering here, been just, looking at all the 21st century podcasts, and whenever I hear you talk about it, I got to come back. I just want to say, Strode was just a wonderful guy to work with, and he brought us some of his home brew. It was very tasty.
Did you really like him because his name was Woody?
You're gross. I'm going back to the 25th century. Buck
All right.
Rogers and Twiggy, you're in trouble.
All right, bye-bye. Well, that's good for her to stop by.
Yeah. Like 80 shows. It's to the point where I don't think anybody understands that reference anymore.
Yeah, listen to our Buck Rogers, the 25th Century episode, and it's early, but it's fun.
It'll make sense.
It'll make more sense.
It'll all make sense.
He was also in The Cotton Club from Francis Ford Coppola in 1984. Strode's last film was The Quick and the Dead in 1995.
Oh, yeah.
With Russell Crowe and I think Leonardo DiCaprio.
And Sharon Stone was the star.
Yeah.
And Leonardo DiCaprio's dad was played by...
Gene Hackman played Leonardo DiCaprio's dad.
Yes.
Yeah. And it was directed by...
Sam Raimi, right?
Sam Raimi, yes. It was directed by Sam Raimi.
Yeah, it's a big guilty pleasure of mine.
I know I've seen it. I haven't seen it in a long time. At some point we'll cover it.
It's just a fun, big Western about a gunslinging competition between all these different...
And it's Sam Raimi style, so it's shot so well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sadly, Woody Strode died from lung cancer on December 31st, 1994 in Glendora at the age of 80.
No. Well, 80s...
He made a lot of time. Look, man, he worked a lot, considering that he was breaking barriers. There was great. I went down a deep rabbit hole with Strode. The whole thing with the four black athletes in L.A., they were literally like, we didn't even think about racism.
Oh, wow.
Like, we literally could walk anywhere we wanted, do whatever we wanted. Everyone just respected us.
It's California, baby.
And he was like, we would go other places, and we'd be like, oh, that's right.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I remember now.
Yeah, it was fascinating. There's at one point he literally said we literally thought we were white, because of the way they were treated.
Wait, that's sad.
But I mean,
No, I know what you're saying, but it's crazy that this guy in a small part in this B movie was such an incredible force for good,
huge, long career, amazing career.
Yeah, and a varied career in sports and movies.
Interesting life.
Yeah, and as a war guy.
Yeah, war guy,
soldier, I guess.
War guy. He wore that war hat.
I'm doing a war guy movie, playing a war guy.
Altovise Davis's Birch Colby was Woody Strode's wife in the movie.
Right.
She was a life member of the Actors Studio. She worked during the 1960s as a chorus line dancer in various musical shows, both in London and on Broadway. In 1968, Altovise began a relationship with Sammy Davis Jr. They were married on May 11th, 1970 by Reverend Jesse Jackson, and then later adopted a son, Manny, in 1989.
Nice. He was 32 years old.
Why they waited 19 years to adopt a kid, I don't know.
They got bored.
Both she and her husband were frequent panelists on the 1970s television game show Tattletales.
Tattletales.
My guess is she probably knew Shatner from that.
Yes.
In the 1970s and 1980s, she made a few guest appearances in major TV series such as Charlie's Angels and Chips, and minor roles in films such as Welcome to Arrow Beach in 1974, Boardwalk in 79, and Can't Stop the Music in 1980.
Oh, okay.
Ironically, in Kingdom of the Spiders, she receives an introducing credit despite having worked in a number of films before.
Weird.
Yeah. They usually would do that. It was usually probably meant she got more money.
Yeah.
It's always like that argument with your agent of like, but I need to be, pointed out more. And it's like, okay, we'll give you the last credit and say you're introduced. Ugh. Yeah. Altovise and Sammy remained married until Sammy Davis Jr.'s death in 1990.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they adopted the kid because he knew he was dying.
When we do our Sammy Davis Jr.
Yeah, we've never covered Sammy Davis Jr., so I don't know.
When we do Tap.
Yeah.
That movie with he and Gregory Hines.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I remember really liking that movie.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. She was long saddled with tax problems following the death of her husband. She was also included in 2008 on the California Franchise Tax Board's list of the top 250 delinquent taxpayers with $2,708,901.75 in unpaid personal income tax.
Oh, man, every time that list comes out, I'm like on my edge. Like, who's on it this year? That's really effed up because it's not her fault. It's her husband's fault.
No, her husband was not good with money.
Well, not good by paying taxes. This is what happens with a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
They have really bad accountants or they just don't have an accountant.
He probably assumed the accountant was paying the stuff and he wasn't. And it just, as soon as they die, it all comes out and it's like,
Yeah.
Davis died of complications from a stroke on March 14th, 2009 at the age of 65 in Los Angeles.
The stress, baby.
Yeah.
Stress probably killed her.
Lou Dressler was cast as Emma Washburn, the bartender / owner of the lodge they stay in.
Lieux.
Yeah. Her real name's like Luann or something, and she changed it for. My guess is there was probably a Luann Dressler or somebody already in SAG. So
what I'm saying is nobody looks less like an Lieux Lou.
I know.
She does. She looks like a LU or LOU Lou.
LU. It should just be LU. Oh no, you're right. LOUE Lou.
Louie.
Yeah. For a long while, Dressler worked as a nightclub singer in Dallas. During this time, she was married to trombonist Morris Repass, with whom she had 2 sons. In the 1960s, her marriage ended, and she moved to Los Angeles to pursue an acting career.
Cool.
She operated an acting workshop, the Patio Playhouse.
Weird.
I think it's still around.
Well, it's got to be, it's not the same, but the theater that I worked at as a kid, the community theater, was Patio Playhouse.
Oh, really? Interesting. Yeah.
It wasn't in Los Angeles.
No,
it was in San Diego.
She appeared on TV in
Columbo, Gunsmoke, Beretta, Kolchak, The Night Stalker, The Rockford Files, Bob Newhart Show, 8 is Enough, and Moonlighting.
Between 1978 and 1983, she appeared in 249 episodes of General Hospital.
Yeah, that was 1 year. 1 year's work.
Yeah. Dressler's final film was Point of No Return in 1993 with Bridget Fonda. Do you remember Point of No Return?
Wasn't that the remake of Little Nicky?
Yes.
The horrible remake of Little Nikita?
Little Nikita, yeah.
Which was a great movie.
It was not very good, even though it was also directed by the same director.
Luc Besson?
Yeah, Luc Besson, and it was not. I mean, it was fine. Point of No Return was fine.
Look,
it was not Little Nikita. So after that movie, Dressler retired from acting, and I don't know what she did in the meantime. She was retired for a good 25 years. And sadly, she died on February 8th, 2018, the age of 87 from undisclosed causes.
Yeah.
I'm guessing she probably kept working the
Patio Playhouse?
Yeah, the workshop.
Maybe.
So, yeah.
Who knows? She was really funny in the movie, though. I mean, she had...
Yeah, she was great in the movie. I mean, she was fun. She was fine. I shouldn't say great. I will say this movie definitely had strong female characters in it.
Yes.
It was very nice to see, because the fact that she did just be like, oh yeah, I use them for sex and that's it. It's like, all right.
Well, and she was one of the last to survive too. She was a toughie.
David McLean was cast as Gene Smith. I believe he was the mayor.
Oh, yeah.
Mayor Smith. McLean appeared on TV quite often with 137 episodes of Days of Our Lives between 1965 and 1967.
Good Lord.
In movies, he appeared in X-15 in 1961, the directorial debut of Richard Donner.
Richard Donner!
Another strained... What is it with today and the strained jaw?
Action!
Everybody... Yeah. McLean was mostly known as one of the Marlboro Men, appearing in print and TV ads for Marlboro cigarettes.
Nice. So was Tom Selleck.
Nice, except for the fact that eventually it killed him.
Yeah. He wasn't the original one that sued, was he?
No. There was another guy, I don't remember his name, who ended up suing, and I'll get to it. He only did one more film after Kingdom of the Spiders, Death Sport in 1978 from Roger Corman, starring David Carradine.
Love that movie. It's such a...
I don't think I've ever seen Death Sport.
Well, I'm thinking of Death Race 2000.
Death Race 2000 is an
which
amazing
is also
movie.
With Carradine.
It's also Ann Corman.
And one of Sylvester Stallone's first movies.
It was such a good movie. It's so bad.
Such a bad good movie.
It's so bad. But Death Sport, I'm sure, was probably trying to piggyback on that, because Death Race 2000 made a ton of money.
Oh, yeah.
Ton of money.
Yeah, it was probably the same kind of thing, but some sort of sport.
Yeah. McLean was a lifelong smoker, and he started suffering in 1985 from emphysema and had a tumor removed from a lung in 1994.
Ugh.
Unfortunately, his libertarian bent prevented him from pursuing a direct suit against Philip Morris, but he did become an anti-smoking advocate.
Okay.
He eventually went to their board of directors and begged them to start advertising to people that it was dangerous.
Yeah.
Which eventually they had to, but he was kind of the forefront of that.
Yeah.
On October 12th, 1995, McLean died of lung cancer at the age of 73 in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So it killed him. His family did bring a wrongful death lawsuit against Marlboro after he died, but it was dismissed due to the laws being more protective of the tobacco companies.
Well, of course, Adam.
Yeah. Even here in California.
Yeah, it's gross.
I mean, I'm going to make a small correction. The McLean was not the mayor. He was the sheriff. He's the one that gets crushed by the
water tower.
falls on him. He was in his car, thought he was going to go away with it.
And then, he deserved it. He's driving through the town.
That shot of literally like 100 people on his car was incredible.
They're like, stop, help us.
And he's just like, what? He's like, no, I don't. If I open the door, then spiders are going to get in.
Yeah, so he zooms through and he gets his
he pays
instant
for
karma.
It. He pays for it bad.
Yeah.
Roy Engel was the mayor as Mayor Connors.
Yeah.
Engel performed in more than 150 films and almost 800 episodes of television programs. He made 11 appearances in Gunsmoke and had recurring roles as a rancher on The Virginian and as a doctor on Bonanza.
Yeah, he's got that face, man.
He was a Western TV guy through and through.
He just looks like a mayor. He just looks like a 50s, 60s, 70s, politician or some sort of authority figure.
Yeah, and again, though, this movie is way ahead of its time in the fact that the old white men listen to what they should do and go, no, we're going to do our own thing. and then they pay for it. Yeah. They totally pay for it.
Well, it's like Jaws. I think Jaws ripped this movie off.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, wait, this is after
Jaws. Kingdom of the Spiders was Engel's final film. On December 29th, 1980, he died at St. Joseph's Hospital in Burbank, California at the age of 67. I could not figure out why or how. My guess is it was probably a heart attack.
Yeah, it was very young. Heart attack, cancer. I mean, back then it was one of the two. Stroke, maybe. That was like the triumvirate.
Yeah.
I just want to mention Hoke Howell. Mm-hmm. He played the gas station attendant.
Okay.
He was a perennial fixture on TV and films. He's a great character actor. As soon as you see him, you'll know exactly who he is.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed his performance as the guy spitting his.
Yeah. You know what's also really funny? The guy who plays the dad and the daughter, like the weird daughter with the bowl haircut.
I thought they were a husband and wife.
No, that was a daughter.
Ooh.
Because she was supposed to be like 13. I mean, she was supposed to be young.
I thought that's so weird because I thought they were husband and wife.
Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know if they might be credited. Here's the thing: the one girl that I thought was her, would have been like 60, and I don't think that was her.
She looked. Oh, maybe
I don't know, man. I don't know.
She was weird.
It was too confusing, and I didn't have time to go through it, so it didn't matter.
She had that horrible knockoff Dorothy Hamill haircut.
It was weird, but there's no way she was in her 60s.
Maybe if you look at the close-ups, it's possible. She had that weird. She had that weird kind of baby old face, which
I don't mean, and honestly,
it's an optical illusion.
It has to be because both of them had a lot of lines.
Yeah.
And I could not figure out who they were otherwise.
I'm sure it was. She just must have looked young or was wearing a wig or something. Who knows? The hair is what was so weird.
Yeah.
You couldn't see anything else but that hair helmet.
I thought she was a child. Anyway,
it's bizarre.
I'll look into it and we'll talk about it in the Stepdad Show.
Nice. We'll solve that mystery.
So some of the cameos in the movie were John, who plays the injured boy covered with tarantulas during their assault on Camp Verde, and is the son of director John Bud Cardos.
I hate when there's a John Jr. and they call them John.
Yeah.
John.
The best is that when the attack on the town was happening, Jim was like, there's one shot of a kid running, and he's like, oh, they got the kid. And then it cuts away to something else, and it comes back, and the kid dies.
Well, no, the kid comes bursting through the glass.
Yeah.
I was like, this kid is doing some stunts.
And he died. Well, yeah, his dad was a stunt director.
Yeah.
A stunt actor.
Get in there, John.
Yeah.
But Daddy, I'm scared of spiders. I don't give a crap. Well, use your tears. Use your fears.
Mildred, the telephone operator, is Betty Bolling, Tiffany Bolling's mother.
Okay.
The one who was immediately, you were like, doing the...
one ringy-dingy.
Yeah, one ringy-dingy.
Two ringy-dingy.
She totally looks like that.
Yeah. That's, I thought she was like doing the Lily Tomlin operator character. That she did in so many different movies and TV shows.
She did. Whitey Hughes was the Baron, the pilot that has the most high-pitched scream we've ever heard.
I thought it was the little girl.
As soon as he sees the spiders, it was so funny.
It is worth seeing the movie just for that scene, to hear that grown man cry like a 4-year-old girl.
He was a stuntman working almost 180 projects, with his last being basketball in 1998.
Doing all them crazy stunts. He was the penis stuntman.
Yes. The funny thing is that when they filmed that crash, like the it coming in, the explosion, they didn't have money to hire stuntmen for all the actors, so they just had the actors do it. So they were literally within like 10 feet of a fireball.
It was really cool because they had the plane go by, and it obviously, kept going, and then they blew. They did a really good job of making it look like the plane crashed.
Yeah. So the film was...
But that's super dangerous.
Yeah, well, yeah.
And wasn't there kids there?
Yes, there was.
Okay.
The film was shot in Oak Creek Canyon, a gorge in Arizona, along with the town of Camp Verde, just south of Sedona. The live tarantulas were procured by offering Mexican spider wranglers $10 for each live tarantula they could find.
That's pretty good back then.
Yeah, this meant that $50,000 of the film's $500,000 budget went towards the purchase of spiders.
You know, these spider guys were like, we're set for the next 2 years, baby. That's the most spiders they probably ever sold combined.
Yeah, oh yeah.
$50,000 worth of spiders, baby. Cha-ching!
Contrary to popular belief and the film, the venom of most North American tarantulas is not deadly to humans, causing no more harm than a bee sting, unless, of course, you are allergic to the venom.
Yeah, I got bit when I was wrangling, and it hurts, but it's not.
It's not. It's fine.
You just get a little welt.
The worst injury most of the actors suffered while handling the tarantulas was troublesome itching caused by the spiders shedding their urticating bristles.
Yes.
Yeah,
those
they're
things.
so pokey.
Yes.
So pokey. The large amount of tarantulas kept on hand led to some unusual production difficulties. Not only did each one have to be kept warm, but because of the arachnids' cannibalistic tendencies, all 5,000 of them had to be kept in separate containers.
Good Lord.
Additionally, tarantulas are usually shy around people, so fans and air tubes often had to be used to get them to even move toward their victims.
Yeah.
Indeed, a number of the scenes where the tarantulas are attacking people, it is obvious to the viewer that they're actually just moving around, usually away from their intended victims.
Yeah, that's what was funny is when we did threw the spiders on the guy, other people had like newspapers and were like fanning to keep them from getting off.
Walking off, yeah.
Of course, because they were all, male spiders, they would fight each other on this dude. And he would get 2 or 3 chomps.
Gross.
He was a trooper though.
Nice. The film crew painted thousands of fake spiders on buildings along the main business district in Camp Verde, Arizona, to give the impression of a large swarm of spiders.
Yeah.
After the production wrapped, they hastily repainted the town without much attention to detail.
Of course they did. Bunch of jerks.
For several years afterwards, the stenciled tarantulas were still easily visible on the lighter-colored buildings, hidden only by a thin coat of cheap cover-up paint.
Yeah, they could use that for tourism.
After shooting was completed, and because tarantulas are native to the area anyway, all the remaining and surviving tarantulas were set loose in the Camp Verde, Arizona area.
Oh, Jesus.
For many years after, locals saw a higher than usual number of them around.
You think?
Literally 5,000 tarantulas suddenly around.
Well, probably more like 3,000. I'm sure they killed a couple thousand.
Yeah. The movie does not contain a no animals were harmed during the making of this film disclaimer, as many, many tarantulas were killed during production. Shatner said he found it distressing how many of the tarantulas were killed on the set, remembering hearing them squish as cars drove over them.
I'm distressed at the sound of the tarantulas popping.
There was 2 separate shots that were the most disturbing.
Yeah.
When they were trying to... One of them was a car where it ran over and it just happened to be real close to the lens. But the other was when they were trying to get the spiders out of the front door or whatever. And man, there was a spider right by the camera and somebody just stomps on it.
Oh my God.
It was so disturbing.
So, I mean, these are big old hairy Look, tarantulas are kind of cute, man.
They're not going to hurt you.
I've told the story that we had live tarantulas. I keep saying that instead of dead ones.
Well, that's how I only grew up with dead ones.
We grew up with wild tarantulas, and they were scary, but still, we would be fascinated by them, and they, we would catch them just like we did horny toads and lizards and snakes and all sorts of stuff, and it was just part of growing up. Loved them.
The bulk of the score was film library music, which was largely made up of music cues by Jerry Goldsmith from various episodes of The Twilight Zone.
Yeah, it's a mishmash.
It is. The movie would end up making $15 million from a total $1 million budget, making it very profitable.
That's super surprising.
That is very... That also might include, rentals and stuff, too.
I don't think so. I would think that it probably made the 15 at drive-ins, because drive-ins are still pretty big in the 70s, and there were all, there are all these, creature feature, double features, and...
Well, a lot of it... The only reason I say rentals is because... A lot of the movies in the 70s did not keep track or didn't publish their box office receipts.
Right.
And a lot of them later with rentals, they had to because they had to prove that the movies were doing well and all that stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, regardless, it made money.
Yeah.
I mean, God knows William Shatner's getting that royalty check.
Yeah, baby, he's getting that spider money.
Rumors have occasionally surfaced that a sequel to Kingdom of the Spiders was in production. Shatner told Fangoria in 1998 that he was working with Canon Films in the late 80s to produce a sequel titled simply Kingdom of the Spiders 2.
Kingdoms of the Spiders.
Yeah. The actor claimed that he supplied the film's premise, which would have featured a man being tortured by his enemies, preying upon his intense fear of spiders to get him to reveal a secret.
That doesn't seem like it has legs.
It does not. Cannon went so far as to take out a full-page advertisement in Variety magazine announcing that Shatner would direct and star in the film, but the studio went bankrupt before production could begin. The real funny thing, and I didn't include this, but Tiffany Bolling actually contacted William Shatner and was super mad that, because she saw the ad in Variety,
right? And
she was super mad that she didn't get contacted because they were making a sequel. She was like, I have to be in it. And Shatner was like, this is not happening. Like, this is just not happening.
Oh, man. How sad that your career is so bad that you're just praying for a Kingdom of the Spiders sequel. I feel badly for poor Tiffany.
But I will say, I really... There was a certain point when we were watching this when I was like, oh my God, how awful is it going to be that the best movie this month is Frogs? But this movie really grew on me.
It is... Look, like I've said 1,000 times, these are my afternoon childhood movies.
Yeah.
And this was one that I really liked because it had spiders, it had... interesting characters, and the ending was really bleak and very subversive for the time. You know, the heroes didn't win; the spiders won.
Yeah, I mean, it reminded me a lot of some of the 70s sci-fi stuff we've covered.
Yeah,
like Soylent Green, where it was like you're just not going to win.
Yeah.
Like no matter what you do.
Even the frogs won. I mean, frogs.
Yeah, I mean, technically, it wasn't as starkly obvious as in Kingdom of the Spiders, where the whole town is just covered in webs.
Well, frogs don't make webs, Adam.
Wow. And
frogs, hate to break it to you.
Well, they're eventually going to mate with the spiders, and then we're going to have big old frog spiders.
That's what we need. Big old frog spiders.
That should be the sequel. Sequel is to the Kingdom of the Spiders 2, Frogs.
We're going to make the first sequel to 2 movies called Big Ass Frog Spiders. And it's going to be brilliant. And we're going to bring back Sam Elliott, and we're going to bring back the Shat. And they're going to be 2.
Oh my God, yeah.
And we could have them like...
and then Tiffany Bolling, only because she's going to yell at us if we don't.
We have to have Tiffany Bolling back. But we could do like a whole Tremors type of thing and make them, these 2 ecological, warriors that are fighting frogs and spiders. And they've been fighting for years. And we're like post-apocalyptic now where the frogs and the spiders have come and they work together now. So now we got to get Shat and Sam Elliott to work together. And Bolling, because we need her expertise in science.
Yeah, her arachnid.
Yeah,
her arachnicologist.
She and Shatner are driving around in their RV, and they come upon Sam Elliott taking pics.
Yeah,
and they accidentally knock him into a lake. And they're like, "Oh, sorry about that. Come into our RV. We'll make you lunch. It's my birthday."
It's like, this all seems really familiar.
This seems weirdly familiar. Good to see the mustache back, buddy. That was gross.
I will say, if you do want to see this movie, again, the Internet Archive is your friend.
Yes.
We ended up watching, it was possibly the worst VHS copy ever. Jim just kept constantly like, fix the tracking.
Oh,
fix
Jesus.
the tracking.
It felt like watching it on a VCR with bad tracking.
It really did.
I really got up almost to go... Just push that little dial,
yeah.
Spin the dial of tracking. God, you remember that? Where you
They had a little door on the front, and there was like 4 different knobs you could turn and try to make the tracking better.
It's awful. Weird.
Awful. But it's on there. This would be a great double feature with the frogs.
Yes.
Download them both from the Internet Archive.
Yes.
Sunday afternoon, have a couple drinks,
some buddies
smoke
over,
a little bit. Yeah. Get a pizza. Just go to town.
It is a perfect afternoon. Turn your brain off. Have some fun. Watch William Shatner just be gross. Man, he is the worst at flirting. It's surprising that he ever was able to...
He was married 4 times.
Yeah, well, there's a reason. Because they got sick of him. Like I said, William Shatner is an enigma. He is this celebrity that just transcends everything. There's no real explanation for him. There's really nobody like him that started out in what at the time was a crappy sci-fi show that somehow became this giant juggernaut, on par with Star Wars.
I mean, big enough that more than 10 years later, they made a feature film from it.
Right. And made the worst feature film from it.
Yeah.
And then was able to make like 10 more films. And T.J. Hooker and I was going to say Reno 911, and the
Rescue 911.
Rescue 911,
and Boston Legal.
Boston Legal. Hey, the guy redefined. He's never. That's the funny thing, is he never redefined himself. He found a niche that fit him in every decade. Like he found something that he could wiggle his way into and still be him. Whether it's a cop or a lawyer or a spaceship captain.
It was always William Shatner playing William Shatner.
Even when he was singing, it was William Shatner singing as William Shatner. You know,
he's an amazing. He understood celebrity better than most actors, better than most celebrities. Like when the town that James T. Kirk is from, Riverside, Iowa, when he was born 200 years in the future or whatever. But it's a real town. It's south of where I went to college.
Yeah, there's a statue of him, right?
And there's a statue of him there, and they do Star Trek days, like, every year. And for years, he would show up. He would just show up in this small town of like 1,000 people and be like, "Hi, I'm James T. Kirk." And it drew hundreds of thousands of people every year.
Well, he was one of the first guys, too, to start going to the conventions. And, you know, he realized that the power of fandom, and that's really, he is propelled by this Shatner fandom that, you know, that is strangely undeserved. He's really not done anything of note in terms of, like, I can't think of, like, wow, that was such a great performance, and that was amazing. And it's not like he's bad. No. But he's unique. He is always him. You're never going to see, like I said, you're never going to see him playing Abraham Lincoln. After he went through that humbling period of being broke, living in the back of a truck, and realizing, wow, this is really fleeting. You know? I need to actively participate to keep my career going. And that's what he did, is he engaged the fans. One of the funniest things he ever did was that Saturday Night Live sketch where it's a Star Trek convention, and they're asking him all these nerdy questions. He's like, "People, get a life. What are you doing?" I think it was like John Lovitz and all those, that
Phil
gang.
Hartman.
And the looks on their faces, just the crestfallen looks, like, have you ever kissed a girl? You know,
my hero.
But that's the thing, is he knew that lampooning himself, not taking himself too seriously, and just becoming what his fans wanted, gave him a career that lasted to the point where he was shot up into space because he's the spaceman, you know?
Yeah. I mean, he's had the most inexplicable career. And Kingdom of the Spiders is a perfect example of that.
But I will tell you this. William Shatner is entertaining.
Yes.
He is a joy to watch because he's a goob and he's a weirdo, and you never really know what he's going to do. Even though you know what he's going to do, you don't really know what he's going to do. And that's what's really interesting about him. And the fact that he seems fairly self-aware at this point.
Yeah.
You know, look, a lot of people that worked with him hated him.
Yeah.
You talk to George Takei about William Shatner.
Oh,
But even William Shatner's like, I don't understand. Well, why is it, you know, why does he hate me? But apparently he was a jerk. But I think that was before his humbling time of being broke.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Star Trek was before he had, Well, he had a chip on his shoulder and was a bit of a jerk. And you know, maybe, and he probably still has a little bit of it, but there's a part of him in the back of his mind that I believe that is always like, I could always go back to that trailer.
Yeah.
There's nothing safe, even though he's like 98 years old.
But he's still working. He's still doing stuff. He has a few years ago, he did the TV show Unexplained, which ran for like 4 seasons.
I haven't seen him recently, like in the last 6 months or so. But the last time I did see him, he was super lucid. He was super funny. It was really interesting, his response to going to space, which they were like, "Oh, was it a great experience?" He was like, "No."
Yeah.
It was like the worst experience ever because it made him feel so insignificant.
Right.
And he realized going up in space that he, in the scheme of things, he means nothing.
Right.
And which is such a profound,
especially coming from
him,
Shats,
you know?
But
which makes me think
the
that
Shats.
Shats is strangely profound and deep, you know?
He's definitely come around as he's gotten older.
And the man has been through it.
Yeah.
He hasn't lived a gilded 94 years. He's had his ups and downs and deaths and sadness. And well, anyway,
all right. Well, definitely check this movie out. Find the awful VHS quality version on Internet Archive. I do believe it's also on Tubi if you want to watch it, and some other things. It's probably better quality.
It's actually was kind of fun watching it on the bad
VHS
quality. Once you get used to it, and
it looks like somebody smeared mud on the screen.
Yes, it's funny because at first it's jarring because we're so used to like 4K Ultra Blu-ray,
so clear,
you know, and then in just a few minutes you become acclimated and you're like, I'm right back in 1978 watching my giant VCR.
Yeah.
You know?
There was only one time where I was like, seriously, somebody I wanted to go back in time to whoever recorded this and be like, fix the tracking.
Yes.
Fix the tracking.
It's that whole bottom googly thing that you
and
get.
the top, it kept popping.
Yes.
Popping.
Well, they did eventually fix it.
They did.
And we watched it. But yeah, it was surprisingly fun. I wasn't expecting it to be anything but bad.
No, I was expecting very bad.
But I've been surprised. This and Frogs, I think, are both really watchable B movies.
Yeah.
I think Night of the Lepus is a train wreck C movie that you should probably see just for the fun of it, but do not watch it alone.
If you watch these movies, watch Frogs and then Kingdom of the Spiders and then Night of the Lepus when you're really drunk.
Yes. We're going to have to put the Swarm in there, too. We're going to have to make the judgment on that
The Swarm is way too long. You need to make that your own afternoon.
Nice. Yeah, The Swarm is 6 hours and 45 minutes.
It is 2.5 hours long. We'll talk about it next week. But it was the original theatrical version has never been released on home video.
Really?
Just the super-ass long version.
Nice.
It's 155 minutes long.
Well, that's what we're coming back with. Some killer bees.
Yeah, we'll be back next week with The Swarm. It's the movie that started the end of Irwin Allen.
Yeah. If you want to catch up, you can listen to our disaster episode, one of our earlier episodes where we talk about a lot of Irwin Allen
We talk about the Poseidon Adventure and the Towering Inferno.
Anyway, so...
But yeah, it doesn't matter. But listen to that episode. It's really fun. It's a fun episode. It's one of our early ones, so it's weirdly experimental.
Yeah, we do a immersive episode where we're actually in it.
Yeah.
And strangely enough, we do that too with Buck Rogers and the 25th Century with our good friend. And thanks for coming by, Colonel Wilma Deering.
Yes,
from that
always
show,
appreciate seeing her.
Played by the incomparable Erin Gray.
Oh, she's so good. All right, we'll be back next week.
We're in a kingdom of the spiders. But such a weird movie. That's it.
Yeah, all right. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week.
Yeah, the whole, how do you say her name? Lou Dressler?
This is Lou.
L-I-E-U-X.
Yeah, her real name is like Luann.
Nice.
And she changed it to Lou.
I'm Luke's, but...
In the U.S., the National Women's Conference opened in Houston for the first time of 4 days. No, sorry, time to do that again.
Yeah.
I said that totally wrong. For the first time of 4 days. So Kingdom of the...
We now return you to your regularly scheduled programming, The $6 Million Man, already in progress.